Welcome back to Scripps News Tonight. Our next story discusses death, violence involving LGBTQ plus people, and topics many consider homophobic or transphobic. And a further warning, the story also includes some graphic footage. Authorities, advocates, and loved ones are trying to figure out exactly what happened to 16-year-old Nex Benedict. The teenager died one day after a fight at their high school in Owasso, Oklahoma earlier this month. Nex's gender identity did not align with their sex assigned at birth. And their mother said Nex faced bullying at school because of that. One major revelation coming just this evening. Owasso police have released footage from outside the bathroom where the reported altercation took place. A police officer's conversation in the hospital afterward with Nex and their mom, as well as 911 audio. Here's how Nex's mom described the situation the day of the incident.
How many kids attacked her?
3. They jumped her in the bathroom. And I'm furious that the school just kind of said, come get your kids.
Oklahoma is one of many states with laws and policies restricting transgender youth. Police are investigating, but information being made public is limited. In the meantime, a town and state are left dealing with uncertainty. Justin Ayer with Scripps News Tulsa walks us through how Oklahoma's LGBTQ plus community is grieving one of their own.
Over 20 vigils are planned across the country and one in Canada to honor and remember Nex Benedict. Nex was a 16-year-old sophomore student here at Owasso High School who identified as non-binary. And now they're being remembered and known across the world.
This is a Facebook Messenger. Can we do this? Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Don't worry, this isn't an actual therapy session. But here on the left, Sanj Cooper is a licensed therapist and president of Talaquality, a nonprofit promoting equal rights. Identifying as non-binary, Cooper says they feel for Nex Benedict's family, having dealt with similar experiences.
I have been on this earth 47 years, and I have a tough skin. They've only been here 16 years, so it's really hard to imagine what they were going through.
Talaquality has been here in the heart of Tahlequah for about 10 years, and organizers say it has been growing exponentially ever since. Their goal is to have their own equality center, similar to the Dennis R. Neal Center in Tulsa. Cooper, like dozens of others across the world, was called to action. They're planning a public candlelight vigil Saturday at Norris Park in Tahlequah.
First, it was personal because me being non-binary and part of the community, and then I seen how much it affected everyone else, and then it became organizational, like we gotta do this. 2 News found 23 vigils planned over the next 2 weeks across the country, and one in Canada. In Tahlequah, Cherokee Marshals will be assisting Tahlequah police for safety purposes at the vigil. I see the negativity, but then when I see people that are not even part of Oklahoma doing this, like, or even part of Owasso, just like it gives me hope.
Justin Ayer, Scripps News, Owasso.
Our next guest is working to change things in Oklahoma. Nicole McAfee is executive director of Freedom Oklahoma, an advocacy group for LGBTQ plus rights in the Sooner State. Nicole, good to have you. From what we know about Nex's life beyond their final days, how representative is Nex's story to what LGBTQ plus people go through in Oklahoma every single day?
I think it's too familiar a story for many folks on the ground and many folks beyond Oklahoma. Ever since single-sex bathroom restrictions were first placed on Oklahoma public schools and public charter schools, we've heard story after story from youth all around the state in small towns and large cities about what that means for their day-to-day and the increase in bullying they've seen from other students and staff alike.
Over the last few days, we've been learning more about Nex, who Nex was. We know Nex was Choctaw. Oklahoma is a state with a large, vibrant indigenous population. As a way to orient us, how do you see indigenous and LGBTQ plus identities intersecting both for Nex and others in the state?
Yes, the state has a crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous relatives, and Nex's death at the intersection of being Indigenous and being a two-spirit, transgender, gender nonconforming person is very much a story we see too often, especially with the need for community outcry in order to see any sort of action or response from police and other folks in charge. And so I think that while it is devastating and we have a community grieving, we also have advocates across the 2S LGBTQ plus community and across Indigenous communities really gathering together to share the resources we both know too well in how to try to create some sense of justice and some sense of repair for a community grieving.
I want to introduce our audience to two people. One is Ryan Walters, Oklahoma Superintendent of Public Education. He's portrayed trans students as a threat to school safety. The other is Haya Reichik, a New York native and operator of the social media account Libs of TikTok. Her account often shares hostile commentary about LGBTQ plus individuals. Several people and places featured on her page have received bomb threats, but we should note Reichik has denied any link between her social media account and Benedict's death. Your group's statement pointed a finger at the state's leaders and also named Reichik specifically. They say they're protecting kids from a threat, but how are they, in your eyes, threatening kids like Nex?
Yeah, so while Libs of TikTok has targeted several schools and several educators across the state, in the case of Owasso in particular, there was an out teacher who was targeted by Libs of TikTok, who is someone that knew Nex. And I can only imagine how much more the rhetoric that we hear parroted too often by young people as they say things that they are hearing from folks like Walters, from platforms like Libs of TikTok, was used and was very personal for Nex in particular.
Police in the school district are still investigating the incident. There's a lot we still don't know about what happened in the days leading up to, during the incident. How confident are you that they will be able to reach a fair conclusion about what happened to Nex Benedict?
I think that Oklahoma has an unfortunate history of seeing some very political reports out of the medical examiner's office, of seeing lack of transparency from police around investigations. And I think that's why so many community members are rallying around the family's calls for an independent investigation. I also think it's important to name that in a post-McGirt landscape where we are talking about a student who died on the Cherokee Nation Reservation who is Indigenous, that there should be discussion of federal and tribal jurisdiction in this as well. And I hope that with more resources, the public can get better answers about what happened to Nex and can disrupt this harm from happening again.
In the last 30 seconds, the phrase rest in power has been used to honor Nex and other people who have died under unjust circumstances. What power do you see Nex's story having going forward with the last 30 seconds we have left?
I think that Nex has already given so many folks space to talk about their identities, to talk about what it means to live beyond a binary. And I think especially in a place like Oklahoma, a place where we do have 39 tribal nations who share this land, it's also a space to talk about the fact that two-spirit, transgender, and non-binary people have always existed here and will always exist here. And I think in a time where we're hearing a lot of rhetoric that suggests that our identities are something new or something conceived by the left wing, that this is a reminder that these identities have long roots and that we are going to come together to find justice and seek liberation.
Nicole McAfee, Executive Director of Freedom Oklahoma, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We want to share some resources for young LGBTQ plus people. The Trevor Project, a suicide prevention group, has some important points of contact. Their hotline number is 1-866-488-7386. You can text the word START to 678-678, or you can chat online at trevorproject.org/gethelpnow.